to click your go live button for you?
Yeah, let's just do that so that we don't take more time. Let me get back to where I need to be. Oh, hi, we are live. Hi, everybody. Florida House Leader Fintrish Driskell here. I hope everyone's doing well. I hope that your week is off to a fantastic start. I feel like there's always so much to catch up on during our Tuesday live streams. And for those of you who are here with us, thank you so much for tuning in. We always appreciate your participation. As ever, please leave some comments in the chat. What's up? I want to know how y'all are doing. How's your week? I mean, the feud is long over, but was it Drake or Kendrick for you? Like, what's going on? Tell me what's happening. Tell me what's happening in your life. And in the meantime, we'll get started with some updates, and I'm here to share some news with you, not to keep you long, but just to share some information with you so that you know what's going on in Florida politics. And we want you to feel informed. We want you to feel empowered. We want you to feel hopeful as you sit in this moment and as you think about the election coming up this November, because we all have the ability to be change agents in our community and to vote and to try to be a part of whatever is the change that we need to see in order for our world to be a more safe place for all of us. So there's been a lot going on. Let me give you updates on what I've been up to. So this is wild. I think it was last week, but it feels like it's been many, many weeks ago. I had the opportunity to attend an economic summit that was put on by an organization called Crew Tampa Bay. Honestly, I'd never heard of Crew, but I am so glad now that I have. It is an organization dedicated to supporting women who are in commercial real estate and development. Those tend to be male-dominated industries. And I actually got to meet the woman who helped found the organization back in the 90s. And at the time, she was one of a few women in the field in Tampa. And she just knew that there needed to be something to encourage and to support women. And now it has hundreds of members. It was such a dynamic event to meet women who own their own businesses and who are doing amazing things in the commercial sphere. And just seeing the way that they supported one another was amazing. And then they also had an economist to give a presentation about what's been happening in our economy here in America and then also in Tampa Bay. Some encouraging news is that it looks like Tampa Bay in many ways is outpacing the state and outpacing the country. So we know we got something special going on and people are moving here and companies are getting started here. And that was very exciting. So shout out to the women of Crew and all the folks who support them for doing something amazing and dynamic and pushing for some positive change in the industry and in our community. Let's see what else is going on. Father's Day is coming up this Sunday. So happy Father's Day to my daddy, who's one of my first loves, Mr. Joel Driskell. We're talking about a man who, God, did so much for his family. I am one of 4 girls. So between my 3 sisters and me and our mom, Dad was always outnumbered. He has got to be one of the most patient people on the planet. He's one of the most patient, kind human beings that I've ever met. And he always worked so hard to make sure that his girls had whatever they needed. And so, Dad, I love you. Happy Father's Day to you. Happy Father's Day to all the men in our family. And happy Father's Day to any of you out there who celebrate. And for those of you for whom maybe your dad is no longer with you, we also hold you close in our hearts because we know that that's a very special relationship. But happy Father's Day to all of those who celebrate. Next Saturday, that's a lie. This Saturday, I'm going to be down in Venice, just south of Sarasota, with the Venice Democratic Club. I'm so looking forward to seeing them. I got to meet some folks from the Venice Democratic Club back in March, I think that was, when I was able to keynote the Sarasota Democratic Executive Committee, or the Sarasota Democratic Party's Kennedy King dinner. And they invited me to come to Venice, and I'm so glad to be there. So I look forward to seeing you all this weekend. Then I should also note that next week, June 19th, we will celebrate Juneteenth. Juneteenth is a federal holiday that is basically Emancipation Day. It celebrates when the news of emancipation and the ending of the Civil War finally reached Galveston, Texas. And it is caught on as a national movement to celebrate Juneteenth as Emancipation Day. And a big shout out to the Biden-Harris administration who took the step of making sure that we have a federal holiday for Juneteenth. This is something that was a long time coming and frankly should not have taken as long as it did. But I'm so glad that we had somebody in the administration who finally, saw and recognized the importance of Juneteenth. In Florida, unfortunately, it is not a state holiday. However, my office will be closed in honor of Juneteenth because I think it is that important. And I will always push for the state to make sure that that is a recognized holiday. I should note, though, and I'm sure some of you history buffs out there already know, that Florida's Emancipation Day actually took place on May 20th. It was May 20th, 1865, that Florida's emancipation came when the enslaved people in Florida were emancipated. So May 20th is our special day in the state, but June 19th is the federal holiday, and we are going to honor that in the office of Leader Fentress Driskell. So, other exciting events. The Hillsborough County LGBTQ Caucus is holding a bowl-a-thon on June 29th. It should be a good time. It's going to be from 12 to 2. I'm going to dust off my bowling shoes and my bowling gloves, and I'm going to go and I'm definitely competitive. So I come and I play to win. So I hope to see you there. If you want more information or maybe want to sign up, you can visit hillsboroughlgbtqdems.org. That's hillsboroughlgbtqdems.org for more information about the bowl-a-thon. It surely would be fun to see you there. Other updates. You remember that last week we had a nice little teaser for you guys telling you that we had some really exciting news to drop. And that was that our official merch store opened in support of the campaign. So we heard some feedback. It sounds like the store wasn't running as we'd hoped last week. So we apologize for that. We had some unexpected hiccups on the back end, but it's good to go now. I'm glad that I was getting feedback from you guys, though, because that means that you were actually trying to access the site and to purchase some merch. We really appreciate it. So we are re-offering our discount code. Last week, we offered a 10% discount code, which is Launch 2024. That's Launch 2024. And we will continue to run it from tonight through Thursday at 11:59 p.m. Eastern. That's Launch 2024. Please visit the store. You can go to our website, fentressvilleflorida.com, and access the store. We've got t-shirts, hats. I got your mugs. I know y'all like coffee. Some of you like tea. I'm a little more tea myself. The point of it is, please visit the store and get some merch because all of those purchases help to support our re-election effort. And that allows us to continue fighting for every Floridian's freedom to be healthy, prosperous, and safe. We couldn't do it without you, so thank you. I want to give a special shout out and also share some really good news, which is that Mac Bernard, who is a former state representative from Palm Beach County, effectively just won his Senate campaign today. We're in the middle of qualifying week where candidates actually qualify to be on the ballot, and he does not have any opposition. So as of noon today, Mac Bernard won by default in Senate District 24 to take Senator Bobby Powell's seat following his resignation. Senator Bobby Powell is a dear friend. He is a fierce fighter for the people of Florida. He is going on to run for county commission, and we wish him all the best. And we welcome Mac Bernard back to the legislature. Senator Mac Bernard back to the legislature. He is going to do a phenomenal job. So congratulations, Senator Bernard. Next, okay, I thought this was super interesting, and I'm wondering if y'all saw this headline as well. But there was a poll released by Fox News, or by Fox. I mean, yes, that Fox, like the Fox of Fox News. It was a Fox News poll that showed that Trump is only leading Florida by 4 points ahead of President Biden. That's huge. And some of you may be saying, okay, but Biden is still trailing Trump. But I want you to take a few things into consideration. Fox tends to be a more right-leaning organization, right, in terms of the editorials that they put out. And I don't think that they are shy about that. So for them to say that Trump is leading by only 4 points is huge. What this says to me, and I think to the rest of us on the ground, is that Florida is in play. And we've been saying that week after week. Florida is in play. And, Republicans, I think, are in trouble here in Florida because the people are rising up to reject the extremism. And they're fighting to make sure that elected officials who get in office truly reflect all of us and that they want to serve us. And we're in a time where we've got some folks up in Tallahassee and in other places in government, the US Senate, et cetera, even in Congress, who are in the Republican Party and who do not want to listen to the people of Florida. Oh gosh, I can't believe that I didn't start that off with the governor. We got a governor who doesn't want to listen to the people of Florida and who keeps pushing all these extremist ideas. And it's not okay. As somebody who grew up in Florida, I grew up in Central Florida, in Polk County, Florida. We had people of all different backgrounds and all different political ideologies, but we were able to coexist and to get along and to respect one another. And so much of that has changed with the extremism that's been pushed down from the top here in Florida. But I know that doesn't represent the best of our state. And if we want to see some positive change, we're going to have to make sure that we vote differently and vote accordingly this November. So 4 points, I'll take it. In a state like Florida, that's pretty swingy, 4 points is really close. And I think that especially with Amendment 4 and Amendment 3, which are the yes on 4, that's the amendment that would protect abortion access, and then yes on 3, which would legalize adult usage of marijuana. Those are two opportunities for us to talk to voters about issues that they care about and to try to get people out to the polls and to vote for a better day in Florida government. So I was really excited about that. On a sadder note, a heavier note, tomorrow, which is June 12th, will mark the 8th anniversary since the Pulse nightclub shooting. Pulse continues to be the second deadliest mass shooting in modern American history, with 49 killed and 53 injured. The most deadly incident was the 2017 Vegas Route 91 Harvest Music Festival, and Pulse is second only to that, right here on Florida soil. And so I want to hear if you have your own Pulse stories. I was just talking to a friend who shared with me that they happened to be at Pulse just a few hours before the shooting occurred. If you have stories you want to share, we want to hear them. I thought that I would tell you mine. So the opportunity to visit Pulse. But in Tampa, we had this wonderful place that we call the Blue Martini. They actually still have one in Fort Lauderdale. I just drove past it the other night. Actually, I happened to be down in Fort Lauderdale for some meetings. And I know they have them in other places, but they had one in Tampa at the International Plaza Mall. And there was a great band that used to perform there, like on Thursday or Friday nights, I think. And I love live music. And so I would love to go listen to this band. And the lead singer was just really special, so talented, had this phenomenal voice. And his name was Shane Tomlinson. Now, Shane was like this larger than life personality up on that stage. And he could sing anything. He could sing it all. I'm talking, he could do like Mary J. Blige in 1 minute and then maybe like Michael Jackson the next, or, Earth, Wind, and Fire, whatever it was. Like he was always going to bring his full self, his full energy and creativity to the moment as he would sing. And I just thought he was so amazing. And I would look forward to it, to hear their band, and especially to hear Shane sing. And we had this one little moment where they were taking a break and I was on the dance floor, and my friends know, if you're watching, you know how much I love to dance. And we just passed by each other for just a moment and just like said a, really quick hello, nothing longer than a few moments. But I think it got to the point where we kind of, would recognize each other. And then when I got the news about the Pulse shooting and they showed the victims, I saw Shane's face and my heart just dropped. He was such a talent and such a bright spot in this world. And he certainly did not deserve that. None of the folks who were killed or injured deserved that. The LGBTQ community did not deserve that. The Orlando community did not deserve that. Floridians did not deserve that. Humanity did not deserve that. And I was actually on a vacation with my family. So I had a lot of family members who were there, and we were all together, some of whom happened to be gay, and it was hard for them. And I just hugged them all a little tighter. And it's one of those situations that just deepens the resolve that I have, and I hope the resolve that you have, to fight for more fairness in this world, because nobody deserves that. Hate has no place in our society. And so, as we honor Pride Month, let us make sure that we remember Pulse. As we think about gun violence in our communities, let's make sure that we remember Pulse, and we remember Parkland, and we remember all of these tragedies. It's not enough, though, just to remember. It's not enough just to feel sad. We have to find a way to channel that energy into action, or else things don't change. Or else things don't change. So, this moment I dedicate to Shane and to the memory of all of those who were lost in the Pulse shooting. And they certainly were gone too soon. So take a moment tomorrow, if you think about it. Just take a moment to pause and have a moment of silence for Pulse. In other news, which was really disappointing, last week, the Florida Supreme Court made the decision to uphold DeSantis' suspension of State Attorney Monique Worrell. Now, some of you remember we had Monique on as a guest of the live stream about a month or so, and we were able to hear her story, what was going through her mind, what she was experiencing emotionally as she was going through the process of DeSantis removing her, even though she was the duly elected, she is still the duly elected state attorney in Orange County. And even though crime had gone down under her leadership as state attorney, we know that it was a very difficult time for Monique, and I'm disappointed to share with you what happened with the Supreme Court ruling. Monique, State Attorney Worrell, rather, showed up to work every day, ready to represent the people to the best of her ability, and her removal without cause was an unconstitutional abuse of power. I think the Supreme Court got it wrong. And so just remember, Monique is running for re-election, giving the people of Orange and Osceola counties the opportunity to send her straight back to work in the November elections. So if you want to learn more about Monique, if you want to push back against the governor's overreach of power, this is a way to do it. You can visit moniqueforstateattorney.com. That's Monique at stateattorney.com, and get more information and find out how you can support State Attorney Monique Worrell in her reelection efforts. In some good news, because I would love to lighten things up for you and give you some good news. The legislature has been just obsessed with attacking the LGBTQ plus community. I mean, it is just really ridiculous. And in the face of situations where we actually have real challenges going on, like escalating property insurance rates and generally affordability crisis, plus healthcare is getting hard to find, the legislature, the Republicans in the legislature, passed a bill effectively to ban gender affirming care in our state. The good news is that a federal court just struck that bill down. So senior judge Robert Hinkle said that the state went too far when it barred transgender minors from being prescribed puberty blockers and hormonal treatments with their parents' permission. He also stopped the state from requiring that transgender adults only receive treatment from a doctor and not from a registered nurse or other qualified medical practitioner. Unfortunately, that bill also banned online treatment for transgender adults, and Judge Hinkle struck that down too. So, I'm very grateful that we can still count on our courts to be a backstop. No, I don't think our courts always get it right, but I'm very glad when I see that they do. And by get it right, I just mean, are they preserving our freedoms or not? I never thought as an attorney, as a citizen, I would live in a time where the court, who's supposed to protect our rights, would actually start taking them away. That's what happened, for example, with the overturning of Roe versus Wade. That's a right that people had enjoyed for over or nearly 50 years before the Supreme Court struck it down. And that's not okay. That's not what the courts are there to do. They're there to protect our rights. And so We have to make sure that we're vigilant, because just remember that every election has consequences. And if you want to know and understand more about who appoints our judges in the state court system, please do some research on that. Know and understand that it's the governor who gets to make those appointments. So it matters who's the governor, not just because of the bills that he or she gets to sign into law, or the bills they get to veto, or the budget. It's also all these appointments they get to make across the state, whether it's things like, our judges, or if there's an elected official who's removed and then the governor gets to make an appointment, or various boards across the state, or colleges or universities. And it's important to know that elections have broad consequences. And when you're talking about our federal courts, it also matters, frankly, who's in Congress, specifically in the Senate, because that's where the confirmation process takes place. It matters who our U.S. senators are, because they're the ones actually who will make recommendations for judicial nominees at the federal level. So just know and understand that elections have consequences. But shout out to Judge Hinkle for following the law and for protecting the right to gender affirming care. So it's a lot. It's a lot that happened, a lot to catch up on in this past week. But again, thank you so much for staying engaged and for participating with us in this space. If you like the content, make sure that you're following us on social media so that you get the alerts for when we go live. We finally got our blue check on Instagram, so we're so excited about that. Thank you guys for all of your support, because having increased viewership certainly helped with that and helped them to see that we needed to have that verified check. I want to make sure too that you are uplifting this content. If there's information that you like here, please feel free to share it with your own networks. The more, the merrier. And also, here's your weekly call to make sure that you are registered to vote and that your friends and family are registered to vote as well. Please also make sure that you are registered to vote by mail. This is essential. We live in modern times. Life gets busy. We don't even have to worry about whether or not our vote by mail ballot is going to come. So just go ahead and request it from your supervisor of elections now. It is a safe, fair, and efficient way to vote. And you may be expecting your ballot to come in the mail, but please know that because of a law that DeSantis signed last year, everyone has been kicked off the vote by mail rolls in Florida. So you need to request a new vote by mail ballot, and we don't want you to wait until the last minute. Please also note that the voter registration and party affiliation deadline for the August primaries is July 22nd. What do we mean by that? If you want to vote in the primaries, which are scheduled to take place in August, you have to be registered to vote, and you have to declare your political party by July 22nd. And in Florida, please note that if you are an independent, meaning you are a no party affiliation voter, that you are not permitted to vote in the partisan primaries, and you will be locked out from the opportunity to do that. So just make your choice. I'm not advocating for you to go one way or the other, but please note that you must select your party affiliation by July 22nd if you want to participate in the August primaries. But really, I want you to vote blue. You know that. And please make sure too that you take opportunities to share your stories. We want to hear them. You can do so at info@venturesforflorida.com. You can do so at yourvoice@venturesforflorida.com. No matter what, whatever way you decide to reach out to us, it can even be a direct message on social media. We want to hear from you. Our theory of the case is that these policies are impacting us all, whether we're down in the Panhandle, whether we're in Fort Lauderdale, whether we're in Jacksonville, or all the way in the Florida Keys. It doesn't matter. These stories impact us all, and we are all Floridians. And we definitely want to hear from you about what is going on in your neighborhood, in your community, and what's the change that you want to see. So thank you so much for tuning in. We'll go ahead and leave it here. Again, happy Pride Month. We're now in week 2 of Pride Month. So to all of those who are celebrating and who are LGBTQ members of that community or allies, happy Pride Month to you. Thanks so much, everybody. Take care.